Hello, and welcome to another vidcast for 1672. I'm Anthony Martin, project lead and art director.
My name is Nicholas Cazal. I don't really have a title, but I break and fix things.
Hi, I'm Matthew Duffy. I fix and sometimes break things.
And we've recently had a breakthrough in social combat, so we figured that would be one of the neat things to show you guys. Social combat generally starts like martial combat. You get out your weapon and attack somebody. But in this case, your words are your weapons. So you go off as a simple action, you go and attack somebody.
Okay.
Attack. So,
What do you mean by attacks?
also off camera we have Ed and Ethan as our peanut gallery. So, our social attacks are not always straight up badgering someone. Sometimes you can use it to gain, a lady's favor. You can use it to gain favorable haggling from a merchant.
Okay.
So, anything.
No, it's not always hostile.
Nope. You can use it to become someone's friend. Maybe carousing the guards at the door.
Can I force someone to be enemies?
Yes.
Now, does it always have to devolve into a social combat? Can it remain a strictly role-play situation?
Yes, you can, but more often than not, if you're trying to get that really good price, you'll want to do social combat. So, you can work things out narratively, and maybe the GM will give it to you. But once you start tossing dice at the problem, then it devolves into okay, now he's got to defend, now he's got to make his case.
Alright.
So, if you really, really have to get into that party, then you really have to talk those guards down.
Okay.
Yep. So, one of the neat things that has happened recently has been the breakthrough in party dynamics. So, one of the in our latest combat, we had a senator and a serpenti and another party member all gang up on one NPC.
Okay.
In order to throw tags on him, and then use those tags to make better tags, and then use the better tags to freight train the poor man.
So they were just layering things on top of this guy until he fell under
Yep.
their weight.
Yep.
Tough
And in
luck.
that combat, we had 5 separate instances of social attacks. So, one of the neat... the combat started out as oratory, and then quickly was layered with negotiation and carousing and a Mondrian culture.
So each type of attack has to be introduced into the fight first.
Yep. Each attack is a simple. You layer it on, you make your attack, and then once that attack is there, you can then defend with that skill as well.
So the advantage going to whoever decides to cut words first.
Yep.
Now, what happens if somebody or an NPC does not have a given social skill?
Well, then they are out of skill. So, if you get attacked with oratory, you have to defend with oratory until you can layer something else on. If you don't have oratory, then congratulations, you roll straight trade. That's your active defense.
So what you're saying is basically you're catching someone off guard until they can collect themselves and interject their own way of talking.
Yep.
Alright.
Pretty much. And all that then leads to social dramatic wounds, which you can, which come with free tags. So, if you were to insult someone, you could throw the tag on them, burn.
So I can burn Duffy
Yes.
multiple times and
Yep.
more burn.
Yep. Burns worse, does it need some cool water thrown on it, etc. All the way until you get dramatic afflictions. Dramatic afflictions are these story-long things, like maybe you insult him to the point where he just hates you, can't stand the sight of you.
These traumatic wounds are not always set as, like you were saying,
Yeah.
They could be incensed or infuriated or.
Any manner of generally a sentence. So it could be a short sentence, it could be a long sentence. We had one that was the Kairos stands alone.
Mm. Another use for these is during actual melee combat, you can insult somebody's sword school and make them not so confident in it.
Yes. The social combat freely integrates with the martial combat and flows along the same initiative system. So you can then do your martial combat and then combat them socially next turn. It's actually one of the cool things about the Corsairs. They're able to flip back and forth.
It's pretty neat.
Yep.
So it's just a chatterbox while he's poking you.
Yeah,
distracting
yeah.
you.
Very, very Monkey Island.
Now, we've heard about the haggling, and we've heard how you can use it in combat and all the rest of it, but you can also use it to help someone else.
Yes.
Like you could give the social dramatic wound soothing calm.
Yep. Yeah, and using social combat is not just aggressive. You can use it to make friends with guards at the door. You can use it to court a lady. All these things are possible with social combat.
Now, on that note, it's also a double-edged sword because you can get the dramatic wounds, and then somebody else can interject and get that final dramatic wound for.
Yep. And
Just
it
for the
could
story
then
aspect.
topple over that Jenga tower. Yeah.
So you were saying that dramatic wounds and afflictions are completely different, right?
Yes.
So are dramatic wounds acting in the same way as if they were done martially?
So yes, dramatic wounds for social combat act in the same way as dramatic wounds for martial combat, but dramatic afflictions are vastly different. So dramatic afflictions can be anything from a word to a page-long set of paragraphs.
So if I had the intention of coming to, say, insult another party member or player at the
Yeah.
table, I could, if I won the combat, just go ahead and drop an entire book on the table. If I
Yes. Yes.
wanted. Okay.
Now, how long do the social wounds last?
They can only be cleared at the monologue, or dramatic afflictions can only be cleared at monologue. Social dramatic wounds are clear at the end of the scene. So, once you're super pissed, you can then get over it by the end of that scene.
Oh.
It no longer affects you after that.
So you just go ahead and calm down, basically, is what that's saying.
Pretty much.
All right.
Now, at what point can you enter or leave a social combat?
Like I said earlier, it freely integrates with martial combat, so that's not a problem. And you can start up social combat at any point in time.
But how do you? You can leave that just
Yes.
like any other scene.
Yep.
You can realize that you're over your head.
Yeah, just like running away from an opponent martially, you can leave the zone, run away socially as well.
You never look good if you walk away from a fight like that, though. So we could use that in a, like, say, a court setting. I could go ahead and make someone so angry they walk away and lose favor with the court.
In fact, yes.
I like that.
Yep.
I like that.
We
You
used
gotta-
it to get a couple people arrested.
Yeah. Yeah. Any more questions? Peanut Gallery?
No.
Nope.
Alright, cool. I think that'll do it for social combat for this video. Thanks again for watching, and we hope to see your comments on Patreon.